welcome to Sports Info. Very special, brand new. Your fans asked for it, just for kicks. It is our soccer special. My soccer guys, the Diaz boys, right down at the bottom, Manny and Brian. A first for Sports Info too, a quad. We got a quad box going. And as always, my main man over there, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing quite well.
We are very excited to bring soccer, football to our fans. They've asked for it. We've found two gentlemen who are pretty good at understanding the teams. We're going to break down the World Cup today. And then we're going to kind of just let you know who we think's going to win. Well, not us. They will. How's that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you guys got to predict too.
We got a delay? Just a little one? All right. So we're going to start off. We're going to break down each group. We're going to go through, start with Group A and go all the way through. So Group A, the four teams are, we'll bring those up for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. There's so many boxes now.
There we go. Look at all that. So we got four teams: Ecuador, Netherlands, Qatar, which is the host country, and Senegal. So best odds out of this group is Netherlands, believe it or not, seventh best odds to get out of this group. Gentlemen, if you guys want to discuss Ecuador, let's start with Ecuador. What should we be looking for from Team Ecuador?
Well, I tell you what, though, they did a very, very good, and I was surprised. When they were playing the playoff to the World Cup, they kept their level to normally the South America tournament to qualify into the World Cup. Four team goes get in straight to the World Cup, and there is one where you gotta play a playoff against another country of another continent. Ecuador actually did very good. They I think they're like 7 matches, and all of the 7 matches they were winning. They kept on the third place. They didn't qualify in the last World Cup, so people were kind of upset with them. So I think they took the 4 years of process, of building the team. There are a lot of young players there, and at the end of the day, they ended on the 4th place on the qualification standings for the World Cup.
Manny, any players we should be looking at from Ecuador?
I have a player. His name is Jose Cifuentes. He plays for the Los Angeles Football Club, and this season so far he has like 6 assists. And Ecuador is a really good team because they were like other good teams that made the Cup in 2018, but they didn't. Like for example, Chile, Colombia, those two teams, like the American Cup in 2016, they're like a good team. Like I don't know what happened to them. They just fell off, and Ecuador's like a really good team to like watch out for.
So so this team, Netherlands, has the best odds, they're saying, to get out of this group. Ecuador, 19th best odds to win the tournament. So do you feel like that might not be fair, that Ecuador is being ranked so lowly in these World Cups?
I mean, it's when it comes to the World Cup, I don't really think fairness matters. I do think that Netherlands it's a better team, right? I do think the Netherlands have better players. I do think that the players from Netherlands they're more stronger, they're more faster. But I think Ecuador, I mean, just they have played Brazil, they have played Argentina, so I don't see why they couldn't compete Netherlands. You know what I'm saying? They actually the South America tournament. It's considered of one of the, if not this, I think it's the second most competitive tournament when it comes to national teams after Europe. So if you can play Brazil like Ecuador did during the playoff, I think they are capable of facing Netherlands and facing those better players that the Netherlands have, and I think they might come out well on that match.
All right. So let's talk
Yeah,
about the
like
Netherlands. Oh, go
like he
ahead.
said, like he was Brian was saying, it's the level of competition that they're playing against. So yes, they may be taking losses, but when you look at that level, like you're talking Argentina, Brazil, those are top notch teams. So in essence, if they're keeping it, within striking distance of them, then they can compete with most of the other countries, and Netherlands are no exception to that. And he makes a good point about that because they're already, you know, basically ready for the World Cup. So they're ready to go, and they can shock some teams out there, and this group can be had.
All right. So let's talk about those Netherlands. So again, seventh best odds according to the odds makers to win the tournament. Very good players.
Fourth in like number 44 out of all of them. So what's that?
No, go ahead.
So Ecuador matches right here. This year so far they played 10 matches, right? They've won 2, lost, and tied 7 of them. But however, this is the thing: they tied 1-1 against Brazil, 1-1 against Argentina, 0-0 against Mexico, 0-0 against Saudi Arabia and Japan. All of those teams are in the World Cup, and
Got a slight delay here. We think we might have lost Manny.
Yeah, it sounds like he's having some mic problems. So hopefully we can fix that.
So, Brian, the Netherlands, any players we should be looking at?
Well, you got this player called Van Dijk. All right, I don't know if you heard of it, but the people that follow soccer, uh, this to me, and not only to me, but the numbers actually consider this man the best defender uh, of the soccer world right now.
Wow.
He plays for Liverpool, and he has faced Lionel Messi. He also has faced Cristiano Ronaldo, who plays in Manchester United right now in England. And I tell you what, even those players says that he's very, very good at his job. He's fast. People try to dribble him, but he just they can't. He's too good. So I think Van Dijk is gonna be a very important key to the Netherlands because even though it's only just one man, but I tell you what, though, it's counted like if there were 5 men because he's
Wow.
really strong, he's really fast. He actually has that attitude of being a captain. If I'm not mistaken, he is the captain, one of the captain of the national team of Netherlands. Also, they have this guy, which is a midfield called Frankie De Jong. Right now, he plays for one of the best team. Well, yeah, one of the best team of the world, which is Barcelona. And Frankie De Jong, it's another guy. He's really young. He has a lot of future, and he's really good with the ball. If you give him the ball, he will find a way to pass it to the striker, no matter what. And even in Barcelona, he's being compared with Iniesta, which was one of the legend of the team. Even with Xavi, which was another legend of the team. So I think these 2 players could make a really big difference on the Netherlands. And also they have this guy called Memphis Depay, which is a really good striker. He's the second most. He has the record of right now as the second uh, after Lewandowski. He has scored more goals in Barcelona than any other players besides Lewandowski in this season right now. I mean, his performance has come down because he gets injured a lot, but if he's on the game, he definitely is gonna go. He might uh, score 2 3 goals, and even the press call him describe him as a lion because he never miss one shot when he's on his when he's on his good moments.
So, what about Qatar? So, the host country, you think about the fact that you really want to make sure that as the host country, right, you perform in front of your fan. There's probably going to be more fans in their host country that are going to watch this game. Does Qatar stand a shot of winning this group? They are not. They are ranked 27th overall. Is this more of like glad we showed up for the tournament, but aren't going to really be able to do much?
To be honest, I don't. Qatar is one of those teams that are building right now. I think if we're talking about in the next probably World Cup or in the next 10 or 12 years, probably they're gonna be like a really really good team. But right now they're not at that level. They're not at Netherlands level. They're not at they're not at the Ecuador level. They're not at the Senegal level. They're not there yet. I think they're still building. They're still working on the players. Uh, I couldn't even tell you any player from Qatar that plays in Europe because, like I say, they're growing, they're growing, they're growing. I tell you what, though, they're doing good because there's a competition called Gold Cup, which is usually a competition that competes like uh, countries from the area, from North America, the Caribbean, and Central America, and they were invited to that competition, and they qualified to the semifinal. Also, they were in the tournament called Copa America, and they did very well there. And they compete with teams like Ecuador. So I think they're growing, but because they are in a group where you got the Netherlands, you got Ecuador, I don't think they got any chance of qualifying to the round 16.
But can you say there's then experience in this World Cup, plus with the Gold Cup and some of those things that they've done, they're improving. They're on their way. This could be a team in the next 4 years in the next World Cup that possibly would be a contender.
I'm pretty sure about that. You know why? Because most of their players play for this team called Al Sadd, and that team used to be the manager of that team used to be this guy called Xavi, who actually right now he is the coach of Barcelona, one of the greatest team on history. So Xavi play an important role here because probably Xavi is not there anymore, but Xavi, he built it. He created this mentality to teach people how to play soccer. You know, and right now the coach of Qatar is a Spanish guy. He's from Spain, and I think he studied on one of the Barcelona's academy. So this, like I say, probably not right now, but I think in the next World Cup, which is gonna be in this area, and
Yeah,
the next one, I think they got a chance of probably going to the round 16 and keep going, keep going, keep going. But because right now they're really little, they're still growing. I don't think they have any chance, even though they're the host.
gotcha.
Yeah, it sounds to me like they're taking the mentality of the Barcelona type football, and bringing that type of game to Qatar, and it's just a matter of time of growing, into the style of play and getting those quality players. And when you got a guy that knows how to teach the game,
Yeah,
that makes
oh,
a
makes
difference. Makes a
such a big difference.
big difference.
Coaching matters in almost every sport, so it's no different in football, right? It's just got to be one of those things where, again, right coaching is going to make the difference. Getting those players to learn, I think this experience is going to be really good for them.
And I just forgot to mention that right now they are the current champion of the Asian Cup. So like I was saying, the Gold Cup. In soccer we got the
Yeah.
Euro, we got the Copa America, we got the Gold Cup. So Asia also have their own tournament, and Qatar, was is the crown. They're the current champion.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
like I was saying, they are growing. Yes, they are, and believe me, I'm happy for them because it's good to see countries that 50 years ago you wouldn't see them. Now you see them, but because, like I say, because you got the Netherlands, which they have really good players, and because you got Ecuador, which also they have good players, I don't think in this World Cup they have a chance. I might be wrong, but that's my personal opinion.
That's why we do these shows, man, because we're always right. What about Senegal? So the last team in Group A, Senegal, 15th best odds to win this tournament. They're kind of in the middle of the pack when it comes to the odds of winning this thing. Is this group too tough for them, or could they be a sleeper team?
Listen, to me personally, Netherlands is gonna be the first one, and the second place is gonna be fought by either the second place is gonna be really tight between Ecuador and Ecuador and Senegal, because both of them are there. And Senegal, actually, they are the current champion of the African tournament.
Yeah, I had Senegal coming out of that group.
Yeah, and they beat Egypt. Egypt, it's a really good team. They have good players. They have a great goalkeeper, which is his name is Mendy. He plays for Chelsea in England. He actually played an important role on Chelsea winning the Champions League last season. They have Sadio Mane, who used to play in Liverpool, and now he's playing in Bayern Munich, and he's a good striker too.
Really
so
good.
I'm telling you, this is gonna be a group where Ecuador and Senegal are gonna be there, fighting for that second place.
It's really cool, really good information, Brian. So some of the scheduling: Qatar faces Ecuador to begin on Sunday the 20th. Senegal versus the Netherlands. So those are the first four teams. If I was to tell you right now who needs to make a statement first in their game, which team would you say it's more important for them to win that very first game?
I think I know I say that the Qatar has not a chance, but I think that Qatar has. If they really want a surprise, I think they need to win that game, the first game.
He switched over to his phone.
I had to use my phone.
That's fine. That's fine. We still see you, brother. We still see you. So we're going to move on to Group B. Great conversation about Group A. Pretty solid thoughts on Netherlands coming out of this group. Agree?
Yeah, I think
had coming in first actually in this group.
The Netherlands.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the top of
Yeah,
this
I did
group.
too.
Awesome. All right, Group B, we're going to bring those teams up real quick for you. England, Iran, USA, and Wales. So some top quality team here with England. Fourth best odds to win the tournament. We know about football overseas, especially in England, how important it is. A couple of these teams, though, not rated very well to win this tournament. Let's start off with England, though. Why is England such a favorite?
Because, first of all, because of their history. Let's look at that. They always been on finals, and their history, it's behind them. And second of all, because they're players. England right now, it's on rank 5 of the FIFA, and they have this guy called Harry Kane, which who plays in Tottenham right now. And I tell you what, man, he's really good. I know many doesn't like him, and many is not gonna agree with me. But this guy, he's a killer. I think he was he won the striker of the last the striker of the last World Cup. I think it was Harry Kane, and he plays an essential role on his team because of his goals. And also England has this guy called Phil Foden, who plays in Manchester City. Another tremendous player. I mean, he's only 22, but he plays like he's 30. Of experience, he plays like he's 30. He's fast. They got this guy called Saka again. He plays in Arsenal. So because of their history, I think they are favorite, and because of their players, you know, their players I'm playing in top level, Europe level. So I think that's the main reason why I think England is the favorite to win this group.
Got you, Manny. Anything on England that we should know about?
Yeah, the thing I have to say, they have a lot of players, like good players. Like I have right
Yeah.
here on my 14 stars. Not the whole like 26 squad that got like cup. And out of those 26 that I think they're like stars, I was them. And a fun fact: if you was the whole England team, like all of if you wanted to have all of those players in your team, $1.26 billion. They have
Wow.
like the highest, like they have like the highest and stuff like that, because like their players, all of them are young too. Like now, like for example, that guy that Brian mentioned, Phil Foden, that guy plays tremendous. Like if he's like 27, like if he has like a lot of experience. But England, good history of like playing good football, and like I believe they will continue to like going on for like a long time.
Awesome. What about Iran? So Iran, 30th best odds. They're one of the bottom favorite teams to win this tournament. They actually start their round off against England on the 21st. Do they have any shot? Is there a player we should be looking at, or what could be the keys for Iran to possibly win this group?
I don't think Iran. I think Iran's gonna be last. Again, I don't even see them growing in the future. To be honest, I don't want to. Like I say, I might be wrong, but the only player that plays for Europe from Iran is this guy called, and I don't even know if I'm gonna pronounce it right. It's called Mendy Taremi. I think he plays at this Spanish club called Villarreal. But again, he doesn't. He's not like he's always on bench. So they don't really have that top class players like England. So or the US, which we're gonna talk about it in a
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
So so I to be honest, I don't see Iran giving a surprise. No, not a chance, in my
Okay.
opinion.
All right. Manny, anything
Well,
on Iran that maybe
in,
the fans should know?
I am coming in second in this group. The reason behind that is because of how they play. So I watched them like in the 2018 World Cup, and their style of playing, right? They will keep like seven guys back, and then like when the other team will try to score a goal, and the ball, that's when they will score a goal, and actually like this, like not, but like so far this year they play 8 matches, right? They won 5, lost 2, it's a tie, and they lost against Korea Republic, which is in Group H, I believe, if I'm won against Uruguay, which that was pretty surprising, and they draw against Senegal. I do like. I don't have them finishing, like at the top and first, but like winning games, but it's gonna be close games. It's not gonna be like they're gonna be winning by like a lot.
So let's talk USA. USA soccer is back in the World
Yeah.
Cup. Me and Manny have, and Brian have talked about this a little bit at times. I am not sold on them. They didn't look as well to the pre-tournaments and facing some of the teams that were in the World Cup. Brian's trying to talk me out of this and saying the USA is better than what they've shown. Why should we believe in the United States that USA has an opportunity in these World Cup?
Well, right now the US is the current champion of the Gold Cup. Okay. Um, Also, they won this tournament called Nation League, and they beat Mexico on both finals because both of them went to the final. And so, yes, I know that you might not feel comfortable because they didn't do good matches, but I tell you what, I don't think the U.S. coach, the United States coach, was gonna risk on putting like his own arsenal, his own all the players on the pitch on a friendly match. I think he was just testing them to see who is capable of playing a World Cup and who is not. I mean, they have great players. They have Pulisic, who plays at Chelsea right now, and they got this guy called Jesus Ferreira. They got Josh Sargent. So they're very young players, but I really feel comfortable because they beat Mexico on both finals. Uh, you don't see that really often, and they have this goalkeeper which is he's really good. He plays for Arsenal, called Turner. So I think they might do good at it. I know I don't think they might be good at it. I think they're going to do good at it because, like I say, they the current champion of the area, and I think the experience of Pulisic, the experience of Turner, which is the goalkeeper for Arsenal, and these other players that I just mentioned, I think might help them to compete England.
Okay. Manny, USA Soccer. Why should fans start to get excited?
So I believe, but right now is not the moment because USA, they made it, to this World Cup, which is pretty good, but about them is the area that they play against. Like all the teams qualify, all the teams that they play against is in North America, which is pretty much 3 countries. Soccer is big in Central America, but because of money, they're not the best ones, like top teams and top tier like teams and stuff like that. So, and the thing that's interesting is that in that whole USA team, players of the only 3 of the whole teams, it's 30 years or older. Everybody else is younger, 20s or like late 19s, 18s. So I believe you be like excited about their team, but like I don't feel comfortable about this World Cup. Maybe they will actually do something, but like I don't actually see them doing something. Of the fact that all of these players are young and they need more experience at that level. When they play against stronger teams like Brazil, Germany, and France.
It goes back to what we were talking about with Ecuador. Ecuador was playing tough competition. Yeah, they took a lot of losses, but here, the United States aren't playing that same level of competition and they're just squeaking by. So to me, I think it looks all shiny and roses, but when it comes to actually getting into that top 16, that's going to be a different story. I think they can get to that top 16. They'll probably get second in that group, but who are they going to face? They're probably going to face one of the top teams, and they're going to get bounced right out. And that's just the facts.
So let me ask you, Brian, Manny, you both said that, again, young team, maybe 4 years from now. Is this more of a setup by the United States Soccer Organization to get them ready, since they're going to be playing in America in 4 years? Get these players the experience now, like they've done some good things to get there, but the expectation would be is they're more ready and prepared for the next World Cup, as United States is going to host some of the games?
Well, the US already has the ticket. When the World Cup is hosted at your own country, you don't have to you just get a free pass. Congratulations, we're gonna use your land to play the World Cup. So, but I do see them making it far, and I feel like they are a stronger team, and they're going in a good path. Yeah, I believe they're, because they have young players like policy, but like this season, and he's struggling a little bit because he only had one goal and 1 assist in like 13 games, but I feel like we'll do like way better than this World Cup in the next one.
Players, I think, the players of the U.S. national team, we see it every season where they are going to Europe. For example, Stephen, it's the second goalkeeper of the national team. He's playing for Manchester City right now. The guy that I mentioned, Turner, he's playing for Arsenal. Pulisic is playing for Chelsea. So I think that tells you that the U.S. product, sells. It's a good product because it's going to the top where the top leagues are. So probably the US, all the other players don't play in Europe, but the fact that you start seeing players from here going there right now, I think it puts them in a good position on where they're going to be in the next 4 years. And the fact that they're going to be playing here, I think that it puts them in a better position, of their making a big improvement.
So the team they're going to play the first is going to be Wales. United States fans, we're going to talk about Wales now. What are we looking for from Wales? What should we be afraid of? What would be some of the advantages for the United States if they were going to beat Wales in their first match?
Team spirit. What caused my attention, these team like Iceland, they didn't qualify to the World Cup, but Iceland, Wales, Scotland, they might not be that good as Germany or France, but they have a team spirit. They could compete you because they are a team that they're together. And I think another thing would be speed. They're very fast. So I think the physical status, the performance of the players is gonna matter because those guys, they run. I tell you, they run. So I think that's what we should be afraid for the most. Their spirit and their speed. They're really fast.
Real quick, want to thank Kenny for joining. Chakra, thanks for jumping in. Manny, any players in Wales that we should really be focusing on?
The only two players that you guys, this guy Ben Davies, he plays left back for the Spurs. Nico Williams, who plays right back for the North Forest in the Premier League. Those two players right there, they're like really, really good defenders, and they should be concerned about.
So, who do you guys have coming out of this group?
I put England as first.
Give me 1 second. I put England as first as well.
England. Any shot? Give me some hope here, guys. USA. Any shot of getting out of this group?
Yeah, I'm very confident, man. I think the US, like Ron was saying, I don't think they are at the level of winning the World Cup. No, they're not. But I think they can compete England. I think they can compete Wales. I think they have the players. I think they have the experience. They probably might not pass from the round 16, but I think they can do a very good job in the group stage. So I
could
put
see
the
them
US.
getting to the second round. You're giving me hope.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking for.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking for.
I get the same thing. I have England winning and USA taking that second spot.
Okay.
Sorry to let y'all down, but I have them coming as third. I put Iran, but
wow.
Yeah,
that's because they ran so far away.
I ran, you ran, we all ran. Yeah,
that's a good one.
We all ran. So let's look at Group C, gentlemen. And one of the favorites to win this whole thing, Argentina, second best odds in this tournament to win it all. Saudi Arabia, Poland, and Mexico also in this Group C. Do any of them have a chance to beat Argentina? And why is Argentina so favored in this group? Let's start with Argentina. Why are they so favored?
Well, because they have the Messi. I
Yeah.
think I know.
Kind of helps, right?
That helps.
I think many. I think many. Again, many is a Ronaldo fan, and I respect that. And I
Manny,
like the
I'm with
guy. I
you,
like
buddy.
Ronaldo, but you know, the Argentina, they are the current champion of America. They just won the Copa America, and they beat Brazil in their house. In their stadium, Maracanã. So, and they've been doing great in the last couple of years. They the 2019 Copa America. They qualified to the semifinal. In the World Cup 2014, they were in the final. So the years ago, you still see that they're trying to walk to that path where they could give a happiness to their people. And again, Messi is inspired. They also won this final called Finalissima, which was the champion of Europe and the champion of America, and they beat Italy 3-0. And Messi played a really good match that day. So because they have Messi, because from years ago they keep showing that they were in the final, they were in semifinal of the Copa America, so that's the reason why I think they are favored to win this World Cup.
I hear you, Manny. Anybody else besides Messi though? One guy
Of
can't be the
course,
one reason.
They got a whole list of them.
of course, ours is packed of players, bro. Like even their 2022 record undefeated. They've won 7 games. They've lost none, and the only game that they tied was against Ecuador, which was 1-1. But they a lot of good players like Christian Romero, who plays center back, Juan Foyth, Di Maria, who plays for Juventus. Who he's like in the past world good, and the guy that other than important one would be Lautaro Martinez, who plays for Inter de Milan, because he's a really good player, and he's young, and playing with Messi will watching and learning, because he's a really good player, and Messi, I believe Messi play right, and like Brian said, I'm a Ronaldo fan, but I respect. He's won 6 Ballon d'Or, which is no one has ever done hard, and both of those players have dominated soccer for the last, and it's just Messi. He's the GOAT, other than after Ronaldo, of course.
He might be. This might be his last World Cup, so I think that's another.
Yeah,
Something for him to
yeah.
prove.
Sadly, because of his age, World Cup. So he's all into it.
So in Group C, Mexico, always considered one of those solid teams. You guys are really not looking at them at all. They're 16th best odds to win this tournament. Why are they middle of the ground? What's happened with Mexico? Why are they not as favored as they normally have been in the past?
Because they lost the United States.
I was about to say that and that it happened years ago.
It's reality, right?
Squirrel finds a nut every so often too. So,
to be honest, I know the Mexican press is very, very, very upset right now, because the way Mexico is playing, which is a game that doesn't really show them, the courage. But to me personally, I think Mexico, like you say, they always been there. Probably they're not having a good moment right now, but they have much attacking. They have good players. They got Raúl Jiménez, which plays at this Wolverhampton, a team in England. They got Chucky Lozano, which is another great player. They got Edson Alvarez, who plays in the Netherlands. So if you watch at these players, they're really fast, and they attack. So just because probably they haven't been doing great the last couple of matches, I don't think that's a reason to not trust Mexico. It's just my personal opinion. These players that I just mentioned, they have speed, They have good attacking. They have experience because they've been for 4 years in Europe already. So I don't think Mexico should be considered, less than other team.
A pushover. Any players I should be looking at from Mexico?
Yes, like I say, Chucky Lozano is a good player. He has speed. Raúl Jiménez, Guillermo Ochoa is a really, I think, is the second best goalkeeper of this area. So, yeah, to me personally, those players could make a difference.
So the first team they're going to play is Poland. What can you tell me about Poland? That matchup, how does that benefit one of these teams?
Well, Poland, they have one of the best in the world. His name is Robert Lewandowski. Really, really good player. I'm not really sure yet who's gonna win that game, but Memo Ochoa, the goalkeeper for the Mexico, when he plays, every time he plays for the World Cup, even I remember in 2014 watching him, he was like, when Mexico played against Brazil, he was making some crazy plays, and like even the Brazilian people and their fans, they couldn't believe it because he was just a wall making like he was crazy plays. So I don't know who's gonna win but I would say Mexico most likely because they go well, and Mexico. I have trust in Mexico. I was not gonna let me down.
I think the one that the one team that or the one team that wins that match is the team that's gonna be second of the group.
Okay. What about Saudi
That match
Arabia?
is gonna determine who's gonna take the second place because Argentina,
Is the one seed. We're pretty locked
they're
in.
the one
What
seed.
about
Yep.
Saudi Arabia, though? No shot. 31st best odds. So basically, there's 32 teams in this tournament. They are basically second worst odds to win this tournament. Saudi Arabia, should anybody be excited about them in Group C?
Fans.
The fans. That's
I
about it.
would say
Yeah, they're
fans.
fans.
Yes.
I don't think they're capable. I don't think they're capable of playing Argentina or Mexico or Poland. I don't think so.
Any players on Saudi Arabia, though, that maybe people should be looking at?
The only player who I wrote down his name, he plays for Al Nassr, and other than that, many players that are like recognized or like plays in like big league like that.
I have a player. His name is the Warsi. He plays for Villarreal, but again, he's not a key player. He probably on the bench. He is on the bench. He is on the bench. He's not because I look him up and he doesn't play that many matches. So they don't have a top player.
So before we move on to Group D, I wanted to ask you guys a technical question about soccer, if you don't mind. So in hockey, if a goaltender is really hot, it kind of makes a difference on a team's success, especially in a playoffs or tournaments, things of that nature. Can goalkeeping in soccer have that same effect, or is it more about style of play when it comes to soccer, what your strikers and what they're able to do offensively and defensively versus just a goaltender? Putting you on the spot, gentlemen. You're my soccer guys.
Wait, what's the question again?
So, can a goaltender in football really affect the team's success versus other players? So in hockey, if a goaltender is hot, even if they're not offensively scoring or they're not doing things too well defensively, that goaltender can basically control that team and help that team to victories. Can the same thing happen with football? Can a goaltender really impact? Because you guys talk a lot about like the Messis and the Ronaldos and those guys that are the scorers. And very rarely do you mention the goaltenders as being the key.
You mean goalkeeper?
Goalkeepers. Yes.
Oh.
Goaltenders in hockey.
Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely, absolutely, yeah. That's one of the
100%.
reasons why I think Mexico has a great chance of passing the second, because Guillermo Ochoa, he's a really good goalkeeper, So yeah, absolutely. I think the goalkeeper and the striker, they connect. If
Yeah.
one of them is not working, the team might not win the game.
Gotcha. Because I know you had mentioned Mexico, and that's why I asked the question. You had mentioned their goalkeeper. So
Let me give you an example. In 2018, I think Costa Rica made it to the round of 16, and the war is because of one player, which was the goalkeeper, which his name is Keylor Navas, who by the time, and he's a really good keeper. He's a really great goalkeeper, and Costa Rica doesn't have a player that is good, and it's considered like the best goal not in America, but like up North America. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, that was back then. That was like not now. That was in like 2018. But a goal, who's like who's the from scoring goals?
say it again.
A goalkeeper, right?
Yes.
Cristiano Ronaldo from
Yeah.
scoring goals. A goalkeeper, right? Yeah. So you can have like a really good goalkeeper, have like forwards who like play really bad, one goal. Like I've seen like play like matches where like the opposite team will like take like more than 20 shots, and they will be, and because the goalkeeper will like save like all of the shots. They don't get recognized that much, but they are like really important players, and like they.
No, that's awesome insight, guys. I get and apologize my soccer terminology. Again, you guys are teaching me some stuff today because fans have asked. Again, not big into the soccer world, and I appreciate all you're giving us. So, goalkeeper, remember that, Ron, not goaltenders.
Oh, I knew
Goaltenders are
that.
hockey.
I knew that.
Mr. Fancy pants over here. Jump in then. All right, let's go to Group D. Let's bring up those teams. And they are Australia, Denmark, France, and Tunisia. One team really favored in this group, but what can you tell us first about Australia? 28th best odds, so they're not getting very good odds to win this tournament.
To be honest, Australia, I normally they go to the World Cup, but every time they go to the World Cup, they don't even make it to this round 16. They always end up in the last place. They passed to the World Cup because of the goalkeeper. Actually, they play against Peru and they went to penalty shoots, and the goalkeeper was on fire. So I don't see, like, they don't have top players, to be honest. They don't have any. They don't have a very. They might be good because they attack. They have like a lot of intensity, but other than that, Australia is not a team that where could show you that could show you good soccer.
Anybody on that squad that fans should be looking at, though, a player to watch?
Well, like Brian said, the goalkeeper, man, Aaron May, who plays midfielder, and Kuol, who is he's 19 years old, and in 2022, and in those 4 matches, he has scored 2 goals and has two assists. And qualifying to the World Cup, they finished third in their group when they were well. Like, I'm really like interested in that 19-year-old, because it's are pretty good, especially because you're 19 years old. You're 19 years old. You've only played 4 games. You've scored 2 goals and have given 2 assists. Those are pretty good numbers.
Another team in this group is Denmark. Seem like they are definitely one of those teams that, if we're talking about 1-2, Denmark looks like the second best team in this group. What can you tell us about Denmark?
they're very collective team. They like just similar to Wales. They have a spirit team, uh, and they know how to organize on the field. So uh, we were mentioning about Argentina where they have Messi, Poland have Lewandowski. In Denmark, actually, not only one player, all the players count because they connect each other. The only player that actually it's the superstar, it's called Eriksen, but even though I mean most of their players, they cannot work if the teammates if it's not playing well. So it's like I was saying, well, they have that spirit team. They play together, they look to attack together, they defend together. So that's one thing that we should be looking at.
Any players, Manny, we should be looking at
Of
on Denmark?
course,
Who's some of the
of
favorites?
course. So Denmark, they have like you know his name Joachim Anderson, who plays for Crystal Palace. Andreas, Barcelona. Pierre Emil, I'm gonna screw these. Hochberg, who plays for the Spurs, and like I said, who played for the Manchester United. And actually, this team Euro 2020 and lost against England. So they have like a pretty strong team that far, beating all of these teams from Europe, making it to the semifinals. It's happened last year too. So they have like a really good chance of like first.
Favorite team in this division, France, third best odds to win the tournament. So again, one of those top tier teams. Why are they considered such a good team? What should people be looking for from Team France?
Their players, their players, and actually obviously they are the current champion of the world. But they have, but their
You're
players,
still champ until you lose, right? So they're the champs.
yeah. So, but they have this guy called Mbappe, which
Oh, we know Mbappe. We talked about him before once on our show.
So
I don't
Mbappe,
like it.
Mbappe is like is a promise. So and he's really fast. They have another player called Pavard, which is really fast. I, they have good players. They're very very fast. They play for good teams. So I think we should consider and be looking France to win this group.
That's people about France is the curse of the last three World Cups that has happened. Always the teams that it's in the throne starting the next World Cup always get knocked. They don't make it to the round of 16s. So there's that thing going on right now in terms of the champion that, and I don't think it's gonna affect France because I wouldn't say an easy group, but they're players, man. Like they have like really, and I believe they're coming in first.
France. So
Yeah.
Tunisia, another team that most people are not really high on when it comes to making it or winning the tournament. Is there anybody in Tunisia in Group D that we should be looking at? Can they make some noise in this group? Between them and Australia, maybe one of these teams could sneak into the 16.
I don't think Tunisia is. I feel like they're gonna finish last in this group. I feel like they have like that much strong players to compete against France, and I don't see them putting up like a big show in this world.
Any players to look at from Tunisia that possibly could make
There's
some
one
noise?
player. His name is Elliot Kiri, and he's a midfielder, and he plays for the Con in the Bundesliga in Germany.
All right. So far, we've gone through 4 groups, gentlemen. You got France coming out of the Group D, Argentina out of Group C, England Group B, Group A, Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Of those 4, let me just ask you this: which team do you feel's been the top team we've discussed so far?
Argentina.
I like Argentina.
Argentina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Argentina.
Because they got that man, the man, right? That Messi.
Myth legend.
So once again, this is Sports Unfolded, just for kicks, all new hockey, soccer show. I got hockey on the brain. Soccer show. The Diaz brothers. We're so excited to have them join the Sports Unfolded family. We are breaking down the 2022 World Cup. So excited to talk about football, and not American football. Football, the worldwide sport that everybody's been asking for. You guys are doing a great job. How long have you guys been fans of soccer? And what really got you into the sport before we get into the next 4 groups? Just kind of curious.
Well, we came from a small country in Central America called El Salvador, and soccer there is life. So pretty much since we were born, they back they cover you with this culture where soccer. They play the street. So pretty much since we were little kids, we into this sport.
Now, Manny, I believe you play some soccer as well.
Yes. In middle school I played soccer, but because our team was bad. We always like end up 9-1 and stuff like that. And I used to play because it was rushed with a lot of Italian people, and Italians, the way they pass, the way they play is, it's in my blood. I'm not gonna pass you the ball and stuff like that.
So why isn't Italy in this?
It's pretty funny because they won the Euro. They're the best team right now of Europe because they won the Euro of 2020, and it's crazy how they're not in the World Cup. How they couldn't make it, because they have like a lot of like good players as well.
So before we move on to Group E, I just wanted to ask you just one other question. I know you talked about Ronaldo. Was there a player, though, that you really looked up to at the beginning, and that's what kind of got your juices flowing for soccer? And who was that player?
Well, it was Ronaldo. But of course, watching my first ever World Cup, actually I wouldn't say Ronaldo. As a kid, when I played soccer, I always wanted to be the goalie because there was this one player who's retired right now. His name is Iker Casillas, and he's the man that made me more because I remember he played for my favorite team, and he played country as well, the one that I always root for in the World Cup, and I even remember like going to like school and like I went to the store. My mom brought me to the store and stuff like him, and I told mom, oh, I want it, and I fell in love with that notebook because I felt like a notebook. But that's the guy that I will say that maybe fall in love with Iker Casillas. And guess what position he played?
Goalkeeper, right?
Okay, so wait a minute. Were you the goalkeeper for the middle school team?
I was not.
He said I was not. He wasn't taking any credit for that.
I was checking.
Brian, a favorite player of yours, somebody that you looked up to?
Yeah. I think that the team is a influence because in El Salvador, they follow the Spanish league a lot. The league from Spain. So people follow either Barcelona or Real Madrid. So if you are a fan of Barcelona, then you like Messi. But if you are a fan of Real Madrid, then you like Ronaldo. So I think that player, that influence to me too, because I like Barcelona. So to tend to go more with Messi than Ronaldo. But Ronaldo is a beast.
Yeah, I can't complain. I love Ronaldo. There's one guy that
I'm a Messi fan.
yeah. So you got, as usual, me and Manny are right on most things.
Yeah, okay. Look at those predictions, boys.
Yeah. So let's bring up Group E, Ron, and the 4 teams: Costa Rica, Germany, Japan, and Spain. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for your insight on your soccer, by the way. That was great. I love the fact that you guys have so much. This group seems a little more difficult because there's 2 teams that are really in the top 10 echelon of this World Cup. But let's talk Costa Rica first. 32nd best odds. They have by far the least favorite team to come out of the tournament and win it. Why are they so unfavored, I guess would be the correct word?
It's because they don't have their flag over there.
I was gonna ask that, why Costa Rica has a FIFA sign.
I don't know. Them in Australia for some reason. I think it's because of multiple countries.
To the answering your question, I think Costa Rica, their good generation, it's over, man. Most of them are over 35 now. And yes, Keylor Navas, Manny was mentioning him, and I think it's about it. I mean, their players are getting slow. Their players, are starting to, get tired really fast. And unfortunately, there's no another group of players that could replace that good generation that play on the World Cup of 2014. So I think the players are aging. They're getting older, and that's the main reason why they're not favored as they were 8 years ago.
Yeah, they haven't done a very good job in basically recruiting either. So, they're just starting to tail off. And when those guys retire, then they're going to have a long rebuilding process.
Well, is soccer again different than most sports where it takes them longer to try to rebuild? They kind of try to ride that wave. So if 8 years ago they were really successful, is it they're just trying to ride those players out as long as they possibly can because of the success they had in 2014? That was a question for you, gentlemen.
Yeah. So I didn't understand your question well. That's why I kind of was trying to process.
So sometimes you see teams that'll hold on to guys too long, but it's because they've had success in the past and they just feel like these guys have won previously, so they just try to hold on to it as long as possible. Is that kind of what Costa Rica did? They just felt like, hey, these guys, it's been 8 years now, but they still could be viable and win the tournament?
Yes, and that's not only Costa Rica, that's also happening in Mexico too, where they have players where they were good 8 years ago, and for some reason they keep trusting these players that they're gonna be good forever. But at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're destroying their national team because obviously their physique, there's not gonna be the same. They're getting old. So yeah, unfortunately, some teams have that mentality of keeping players from 8 years ago and not recruiting, like Ron was saying.
So what about Germany? Germany seems like a very strong team, 6th best odds to win the tournament, 1,001. So if you're putting money down, good shot you could win some money on Germany. Why are they considered so good? What makes Germany special?
I think the way they play, they attack. I tell you what, man. I think Germany has the best offense of Europe. They attack, and they play with high intensity. Germany always, the last couple of World Cups, except for 2014, except for 2018, I'm sorry, but they always qualify to semifinals. They in 2010 they qualified to the semifinal. In 2014 they won the World Cup. So Germany, they have good players. They have this player called Toni Kroos, which plays for Real Madrid. They have this another player called Rudiger, who plays also in Real Madrid. So the level of their players and the team they're playing, I think, played a fundamental role, so they could do so they could become like the favorite national team of this group.
Manny, what about Germany makes them so special? What else?
they're good players. The Germany is like known as producing like good players. A lot of good players are coming out of Germany, and there's like a couple of them that are like young right now that are like playing like top level football. Uh, that you wouldn't expect someone to play at that age, and they just know how to play well. Like if you even like watch a game of them, like the way they pass the ball, the way like they attack, the way they defend, like you like this is a scary team because they're players, they're just good, they know how to do their job.
Another team in this group, Japan, 24th best odds. Anything special about Japan that people may want to look at? So there may be a team that can make it if out of this, other than Germany and Spain. Would it be Japan?
Because of the quality of Spain and Germany, I don't think so.
Yes, I don't think that I see them beating either Spain or Germany, because those two countries are like good at soccer. Spain won the World Cup in 2010, then it was Brazil, and even though it was a long time ago, it was like 10 and 8 years ago, they're still like a top quality team and who keeps producing more good players. And even there are like a few players that played in those two World Cups that are still playing right now, who are still like playing good, like Tony Kroos. He's in his 30s, but like the way he's playing football right now, it's incredible. Like he's got an amazing left leg, and probably the second best left leg after Messi.
So that's Spain. Spain, fifth best odds. Can't if Spain and Germany again are going to come out of this division or group. Is there one favored more than the other? They're both about the same when it comes to odds. You're talking about fifth and sixth best odds. Spain, fifth best odds. Germany, sixth best odds. Which team out of those two do you feel is the best in Group E?
Germany.
Germany.
In my opinion, is Germany because of experience. Spain, they have good players, yes, but they're young. They're too young. On the other side, Germany, they have good players, and they already been in the World Cup. Some of them were champion in 2014. So experience is gonna play a very it's gonna be key. It's gonna be essential in this group.
So Spain, fifth best odds, sixth best odds, Germany. Your guys are still picking Germany over Spain. Why would the odds makers put them ahead of them?
To be honest, this is just my opinion. I don't know why FIFA do stuff that I don't agree. I think it's just because the Spanish team, they have really young players. That's about it. But other than that, I don't see why. It should be the other way around.
I believe one of the main reasons why they put them ahead of them is because Spain made it to the semifinals in the Euro of 2020, which happened last year. I think that's one of the main reasons why they put Spain ahead of Germany as well. But Germany has definitely like more like better players than Spain. Spain has a lot too, but like not as like top tier at the moment that like Germany has.
It's the proven factor. Like you have players that are on Germany that have proven their spotlight. So they're going to rise to the occasion during big moments, and they just have more of those players on that team, and that's why I have them a little ahead. Yes, Spain is young and they are very talented, and who knows, this could be their year. You never know. And it's just I'll take what's proven over what isn't at this point.
Once again, if you're joining us, this is Just for Kicks. It's the first episode, Sports Unfolded production through Rhode Island Broadcasting. Really excited to have the Diaz brothers with us talking soccer, football worldwide. We're breaking down the 2022 World Cup. So excited to get through to Group F now. And we're going to bring those teams up for you. Belgium, Canada, Croatia, and Morocco. This group of teams, not really strong. One team considered a top 10 contender to win the tournament, and that would be Belgium. Are they the clear-cut favorite in this group?
Yes,
I would say yes.
yes.
Is there players we should be looking at from Belgium? What's the player that's going to stand out for me?
To me, would be the goalkeeper. No, well, the goalkeeper Courtois.
Oh, and the goalkeeper. Yes. I forgot about the goalkeeper.
So why is this division or this group so weak? What happened here? How does this group get put together that they're not really a many favorites in this group?
I mean, Croatia, it's a team that it's a good team. They made it to the final in the World Cup of 2018. So I don't know why it's like ranked like one of like those teams, but I mean one of those group. But Canada, they just made it to the World Cup. Like I can't think of like the last time they made it to the World Cup, but the only two teams from this group will be Belgium and Croatia.
So Canada, no shot. They should stick to hockey, is what you're saying.
With Belgium and Croatia being in their group, yes.
No shot for Morocco. We're not going to give Morocco any love, gentlemen.
It's just the quality of the teams that they're facing.
Yeah.
I mean, but come on, Morocco. I mean, it's Morocco, no? Any players that we should be out of this group, out of the 4 teams, we should really be excited about and looking at, besides Belgium, anybody in Canada, Croatia, Morocco, that if I'm a soccer fan or trying to get into soccer, what are some of the players that I should be looking for from one of those 3 teams?
Well, Canada, they have these good, but he's going to miss the World Cup, unfortunately. But they have this guy called Alphonso Davies, who plays in Bayern Munich. But unfortunately, he's injured, so he's going to miss the World Cup. He won't be there.
That spells doom for Canada.
So, I mean, the players that Canada has, they were doing good, but like we were talking about the United States, they did good in this area. I think again, I compare them to Qatar, where they're building right now. They're progressive, but right now I don't think they can compete. But probably like in 4 or 8 years, I think they're gonna be on shape.
So, any other teams? Morocco, no players that anybody should be excited about? I'm trying to get you. Give some love to Morocco.
I wish I could, but actually, hold up. There's one player.
There might be one in the bottom draw.
There's one player from Morocco that it's actually pretty good. His name is Ashraf Hakimi, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain, and he came out of Real Madrid, and now he's playing for Paris Saint-Germain. But like he's a really good player, and he's basically the whole team.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, I'm trying. I was trying to give some love to Morocco. We try to
no love,
no Christmas cards from Morocco.
Sorry, Morocco.
Those fans are not going to be tuning into you guys.
I at least got them third.
Third?
Yeah.
Who you got last?
You got them ahead of Canada?
I have them ahead of Canada.
I don't know.
Toss up for the 3rd spot. Then we feel Belgium, Croatia are out of this group.
Yeah.
Group G. The odds-on favorite to win it all.
My boys.
By the tournament, Brazil, best odds plus 400 to win the whole tournament. But Cameroon, Serbia, and Switzerland also in this group. Why is Brazil so favored? What makes them so special?
I would say their history. That would be the first.
Neymar is what comes to my mind.
And the players too. They have Neymar. They have this guy who is really young called Vinicius, who plays for Real Madrid, and Rodrigo, another player who played for Real Madrid. Their goalkeeper is essential, Alisson Becker, who plays for Liverpool, and the second goalkeeper is Ederson, who plays for Manchester City. I mean, the players that play for Brazil, all of them, man, are in top leagues. And Also, they are unbeaten. The only match that they have that they lost was the final with Argentina. Other than that, I think it's been 2 years where they've been winning, 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 and winning.
Hey, don't they have Jesus on their team too?
Yeah,
Gabriel de
Gabriel
Jesus.
de Jesus will play for Arsenal.
So I mean, when you have a guy like that, I mean, come on, how could you lose?
Yeah, Brazil, their squad is like
It's so
packed of
good.
like
It's so
good
good.
players. It's so good. Like both of their goalkeepers that they have, they play in like two top teams. And I'm gonna give some stats. So the first one is his name is Allison. He's played 14 games. He has 17 goals conceded and 4 clean sheets. That's for the Premier League, and for the Champions League, he's played 6 games, 6 goals conceded, and 3 clean sheets. And the other one is Ederson, who's 14 games, 14 goals conceded, 6 clean sheets, and 4 games for Champions League, 1 goal conceded, and 3 clean sheets. So both of those goalkeepers are good, but not only do they have good goalkeepers, they have like good like defenders, good midfielders, and good like forward who and good players who play forward as well, like Neymar. Like I have Neymar like winning um the Golden Ball because I believe he's like because Brazil is an important team like for this World Cup because they're like the top dog and these awards it's always given to the guys that's most important in their team and I believe like Neymar is gonna have like a good year because so far I think I have the stats right here. Where is it? Where is the Neymar?
Eric, I know you're dying to ask the question what a clean sheet is.
Go ahead, ask me. Go ahead, ask me, Eric. Go ahead, ask me.
Shut out. That's what I was going with.
Go ahead.
What's
ask him? Just ask him.
So a clean sheet is when the. So I'll put an example in hockey, right? A clean sheet will be considered like a game where like the goalie they don't score any goals to the goalie. So the goalie was able to, keep the match to 0 goals. That's what clean sheets mean.
Shut out. It's the same thing. It's a shutout. I was right.
Is that what they're calling hockey?
Yeah. Shut up. Clean sheet.
No, but
it's actually what they call it in every game,
except
in the United States. Because United States doesn't like going with what the world does.
I said the only reason, and I'm going to say this before we move on. So Brazil, great team. The reason why soccer is not as popular in America is because it's one of the only sports too where the clock counts up.
Yeah.
All our sports
right.
in America count down, right. And it makes it very difficult for. And then when they do the additional time, that makes sense. Like, how did they get to that point? It's just for us, it's a little different.
And another thing is the fact that the net is so huge and nobody can score.
It's a good point. That's a good point. But Brazil, clear-cut favorites, some of the best players in the world. Anybody else in this group, though, other than them that maybe, again, obviously 2 teams come out of it. Cameroon, Serbia, Switzerland. Of those 3, who's your next favorite?
I have Switzerland, so I think
I have Serbia. I put Serbia.
I think Switzerland because they've been in World Cups, past World Cups before, so they have experience.
Why Serbia, man?
I'll tell you why. Because
love it. There you go. That's the insight you get from Sports Unfolded. That's what we do.
Because they have good players like Dusan Vlahovic, who plays for Juventus, who has scored 6 goals and 1 assist in 10 games. And also Aleksandar Mitrovic, who plays for Fulham and has scored 9 goals in 12 matches. And Also, Serbia. What is it? They're 5-2-1 in the year against Switzerland, who's like 3-4-1 in like 2022. So that's why I have them coming up as number second.
Okay. Why Switzerland, Brian? I'm getting the Diaz brothers to fight a little bit here.
I would say because like I said earlier a moment ago, because their experience, and they've been they did it to the quarterfinals of the Europe 2020. So I think they are capable enough on facing Cameroon and Serbia. But I don't think they can beat Brazil though.
No.
No, none of them can.
Okay. So you both have two different teams coming out. So your 16 are already different. So just remember that when you're picking your teams here. So let's go on to that last group. Wow, we're getting through this, gentlemen. The World Cup 2022, Group H. Last group out of these groupings out of the 8. Ghana, Portugal, Korea, and Uruguay. Or Uruguay, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Uruguay.
Uruguay. See, that's why we bring the flavor. Look at this. I love it. What can you tell me about Ghana? I start right off with the
All I could think about was what I said before when I was setting up all the graphics.
do not say
I
it.
won't say it.
All
I
right.
won't say it.
Behave.
I let Manny start.
Well, this is what I have to say about Ghana, right? They lost against Brazil 3-0, lost against Japan 4-1, and lost against Morocco, your favorite team. So
I'm just trying to give love to Morocco. I mean, geez.
But it's your
Ghana,
favorite team.
when you have
Win it all. Morocco.
when you have in your group, when you have Portugal and Uruguay and South Korea, you're it's pretty hard to try to beat those 3 teams right there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I have Ghana in dead last. I don't see them winning any.
So what makes Portugal so special?
Let me ask you, Eric, what makes Portugal so
I
special?
think that there's some named Ronaldo on it. I mean, he's pretty good.
Really?
It's all right.
We'll take
Not
it.
as good as Messi.
If nobody knows, they haven't told I am Portuguese, so
They
a little biased. I'm a little biased.
they don't have only Ronaldo. I mean, they have this player called Joe Felix who plays in Spain.
They have Ronaldo. Go ahead.
They have no. I mean, I'm just giving you more options.
I
Eric.
got you. All right, I love it.
They have Bruno Fernandes who plays in Man United. So, and Bruno Fernandes plays with Ronaldo at Man United. So that could help them. You know, they get along in Man United. They get along in the national team. So, and also Portugal, some of these players they already experienced World Cups before. So I think the experience is going to play a huge role here.
Got it. Korea, South Korea. Any shot here in this group?
Nah.
No, I don't think so.
Nah.
What about Uruguay? What makes them special?
They're the dark horse.
They have the way that their philosophy of playing. They never give up. They always go looking for the W, looking for the win. So, and they have Suarez, they have Cavani, they have
Nunez.
Araujo, which is a young player who plays for Barcelona. He's a really good defender. So, I mean, seeing those players, it could be a plus for Uruguay.
Ron, I like the player you mentioned,
Nunez.
Darwin Nunez. He's a really good player, but y'all forgetting one player who's a key player to that team, whose name is Federico Valverde, who is, if he keeps playing the way he's playing right now, he can become the best like midfielder in like 2 or 3 years. Because right now he's for Real Madrid, like right now, he's like playing like a top tier,
Yeah.
and he creates chances. But not only he creates chances to score goals, he's also scoring goals. So Uruguay, that's why I have them as the dark horse because they have like a lot of like good players. I mean, and I know I keep saying, this team has a lot of good players, but like it's the truth. Like, like a lot of like Uruguay players are playing in like Europe, but like Luis Suarez, he's a good player as well. And the only thing is that he used to play for Barcelona, then he went to like this small team, and now like I believe he's going to the MLS if I'm not mistaken. But like he's still like he can still score goals. But
Yeah,
like he's
I
getting
see
old.
this.
That's the only thing.
I see this team has potential. Has a lot of potential. I think it's going to get second in this, and depending on where they fall and who they play, they could maybe make it a couple of rounds. I mean, it depends on the matchup. I mean, you don't want to play like an Argentina or anything like that. But depending on the matchup, they could get by the next round as well.
So you two coming out of here, Portugal?
I put Uruguay. I put Uruguay first.
Uruguay
over
comes first.
Portugal.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
8th best odds to win the tournament, Portugal.
Yeah, I didn't go that far.
I think FIFA takes like a shot of whiskey every time that they make these like odds.
Okay. All right. I love it. All right. Gentlemen.
I wish I could pit my boy Ronaldo, but Uruguay has a nasty team.
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
it's pretty good.
That's why we're doing this show. You guys are giving us insight that we wouldn't be aware of. So I love it. Thank you. We've talked about all 32 teams now, gentlemen. Obviously, Ron's done his homework. Manny,
I always do.
You guys know your soccer. We're gonna break this down. Who are your top 4 teams that will be facing up by the time this is all said and done? And then you guys are gonna pick a winner. So give us our 4 teams. Top 4 teams.
Top
4?
Yeah.
Oh.
Brazil, Belgium, England, Argentina.
Okay. Brazil, Belgium, Argentina. Okay.
I put Brazil. I put Brazil, France, Germany, and Spain.
Okay. Go ahead, Ron. I'm not giving you anybody. So
I have Brazil, Argentina, France, and Belgium.
Okay. You guys all about the same. Who's facing off to win the World Cup? What are the 2 teams?
Brazil, Belgium.
Brazil and Belgium.
I wish it could be Portugal and Argentina, so we could have
that's every soccer fan's like
the last dance
wish final. Portugal and
Messi
Argentina
versus Ronaldo.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think I'm sorry. I didn't put Argentina in my last 4. I meant instead of France, I meant Argentina. I think.
Look at him changing his.
No. I was thinking of Mbappe. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay.
To me personally, the final is gonna be Argentina and Brazil.
Argentina, Brazil. Okay.
That's what I have. Brazil and Argentina.
All right.
2 South American countries playing in the final.
Well, it's
crazy.
It's crazy to think about. So, guys, this is going to stick with you now because thousands of people are going to see this. Okay? Because this is going to get shared worldwide. You're picking the winner. Who wins the 2022 World Cup?
Boys should go with me. I'm telling you, I got this. Brazil.
I think Brazil will.
Brazil.
Sweet. Brazil wins the whole thing.
Brazil's taking it home.
Brazil. No other team has a shot. You're all going Brazil.
Nope.
I didn't even pick. I'm going Portugal just because I have to. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you, first of all, for your soccer insight. You guys are phenomenal. You know so much about the sport. I really want to thank you for what you've brought to the table with Sports Unfolded today. It's been great. I want to ask you one final question before we go off the air. And my question would be is this. There's a lot of soccer leagues in this, right? La Liga, got Premier, you got. If you had to tell somebody, if I wanted to really get into football, soccer, what should be the league we're watching the most?
Premier League.
Premier League.
Yeah.
I would say
Premier
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 League.
League.
And no
England.
MLS. I thought you guys were going MLS. I was getting all excited. No, you're
No.
not going MLS. Why
No.
is the American MLS league such a struggle? Is it because they just can't get the big players?
I mean, it's a baby league. It's when I say baby league, I mean they are babies too.
It's still in its
They're young.
infancy. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true.
One of the things why, one of the main reasons why is because they don't have as much as money as like the Europe leagues, like because Europe has like all of the best players. Like if you're like a good player and you're playing in Europe, you know, if you're playing in Europe and you're like in the bench, you're pretty much considered like better than a starter who plays here in the MLS because you made it to Europe. Like that's every
Right.
kid's dream because the leagues right there and the teams right there, they have like a lot of money, and that's the only reason why the MLS is not like as like, you know, one of the best leagues.
Gotcha. Makes sense. No, I'm just curious. I loved it. So once again, this has been Just for Kicks, our first episode, all soccer, all the time. The Diaz brothers, you guys have been great. Manny and Brian, you guys have been awesome tonight. Ron, one of my co-hosts of Sports Unfolded, our weekly podcast where we cover all of the top sports going on, sports stories going on in the week. So we're excited about this Friday, 6 p.m. on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Guys, I hope you're going to do some more of this. Just for Kicks. This is not a first. This is just the beginning. Great job. I want to thank everybody that's watched us live. Chakra, thanks for joining. Kenny, thanks for joining. Everybody that's going to watch us worldwide, continue to share. Get these guys out there. What great soccer knowledge. You guys are awesome. Manny, Brian, take care. Ron, I'll see you on Friday. And all we ever ask
Thank
for
you.
is peace in this world. Guys,
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.